Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. This time we are diving into Vision Marine Technology's annual financial report. Get ready for a wild ride because after reading this report, I'm not sure if the company is sinking or swimming. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. Let's get started. This is from early 2025 and at first glance it is a mixed bag of news. They have got some new acquisitions which helps, but like many companies they have also got a few significant risks that could really change how things are going for them in the future. We are going to explore this all in simple English so everyone can follow along. So Vision Marine Technologies, that is the company's full name, is a Canadian company. They are trying to disrupt the boating industry by making electric boats. Instead of using gas, they are using clean energy, which can be great for the environment, but also great for the customer if this becomes the standard. This form is a report of how they are doing, what are their wins, what are their risks. Let's take a look at some of those numbers. One of the most important things to look at when you are evaluating any company are their sales numbers. So we need to see how many boats this boat company sold. For the 3 months ending in May of 2025, sales of boats accounted for just over 8,000 or 3. This is not good, and it may mean trouble is brewing. Now, they are not just selling boats, they are also trying to rent them out. In the 3 months ending in May 2025, rentals accounted for approximately $25,000. Comparing that to last year, it appears they did not do any boat rentals. So this looks like a big success, but keep one thing in mind. These rentals only account for about 30% of boat sales. Since boat rentals are, in essence, boat sales, this may not be a profitable part of their business, even if it appears successful. So their total revenue for this period, which is from March to May, was just under $1 to $2 million. Last year, it was closer to $1.4 million for the same period. However, let's zoom out to get a bit more context. Looking at a 9-month period from September to May, we can see that their revenue was actually quite similar, just above 4.3 million for both years. This means that while the last 3 months seemed a little bit more context, looking at a 9-month period from September to May, we can see that their revenue was actually quite similar, just above 4.3 million for both years. This means that while the last 3 months seemed a little slow, in the longer period they kept up with prior performance. Now let's scroll to the value of the company's stuff or assets. It's things like boat equipment, the boats they rent, etc. Looking back to May 2025, they have about $8.7 million in stuff. All in all, while the company has sold a similar amount of boats, they have lost some assets that go along with it. Not a great sign. Now let's talk about how the company is getting money. There is a section called issued capital, which is how much money they got from selling stock in the last year. In 2025, the company got about $1.3 million, which is down from the previous year when they raised about $1.3 million, which is down from the previous year when they raised about $199 million. Raising less money isn't necessarily bad, but it could make things more difficult as you try to grow the business. Another risk that the report highlights is that they are issuing a lot of what's called share-based payments. In plain English, they are paying their employees with stocks instead of money. While that does mean they don't have to spend as much money, it also means that the ownership of the company can get diluted, so each stock becomes less valuable. This is something to look out for. They also have a term loan, which is just a fancy word for a pretty big debt of about $2.3 million. While that might not be such a big problem for a bigger corporation, it could really be a problem for a company of this size. What this means is that if the company does not pull itself into profitability soon, it may be a very long time before that ever happens. Now, the most interesting risk that the company is facing, it has to do with their purchase of a company called Nautical Ventures Group, or NVG. Last year, Vision Marine bought NVG for about $2.7 million, thinking that they can use NVG to grow even more. However, this may not be such a great thing because NVG also sells gas-powered boats. And this could really hurt Vision Marine because if there is a world that only purchases electric boats, it's possible the company could lose a lot as NVG's gas-powered boats become worthless. Another thing to look out for, they have these loans on the books for boat rentals, and although the loans are in the later than 1 year category, it is unclear what category they will actually fall into. This is a red flag. There is also a note saying that something changed in the way that they are accounting. In plain English, accounting is how the company decides how to write things down. It is not necessarily bad when a company changes their policies, but it could mean that it becomes harder to compare this year's results with last year's results. One last little thing to notice, They have close to $300,000 that's past due but not impaired, which means that someone may not be paying them on time. Maybe they're getting slower on collecting debt, or their customers aren't doing as well as they thought. It's not a good thing to see. So what's the conclusion? Vision Marine Technologies has some serious challenges ahead. Their core boat sales are down, they have a lot of debt, and there are also some questions about their big acquisition, and it's unclear if their stock payments will hurt the company or not. While it seemed like the company was afloat 9 months ago, lately they have started to swim in dangerous waters. If they can turn things around, they may have a great company in store for them. But if they cannot get themselves out of this debt, they may very well lose a lot of money quite fast. Alright, that's our breakdown of Vision Marine's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps. And subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.